Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. I have a very special show. I have Bill Yale of the Tahoe Cruises.
Hello there.
Welcome to be on Nevada Trails. Well, we took a boat ride on your boat, the Safari Rose, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, good, good.
And it's an 80-foot yacht.
80-foot yacht. It was built in 1959, actually as a boat for 3M Corporation. She was built in Florida, spent many years on the Great Lakes, came down the Caribbean, went through the canal. When we found her, she was up in Seattle doing cruises to Alaska.
Oh, wow. Well, she had a little bit of weather that day, and she rides smooth, and everybody was very comfortable. And it was almost like being in my Florida room when I was younger at my grandparents' house. It's just an older, furnished type, and comfortable, and it made everybody relax. And you didn't really feel like we were on a charter as much as we were someone's guest.
Someone's yacht. And that's the whole purpose. That's the whole feel we like to have with Safari Rose. In fact, the stern area with the is actually called a Florida deck.
Exactly.
Right. And that's one thing we pride ourselves is that the boat retains its feel from the 50s. It has leather couches. It has the comfortable seating. You know, with the safari theme, it has the the bamboo style decor and furniture. You know, we don't want it to be a typical cruise. We want someone when they come to Lake Tahoe to experience something so totally unique as the lake is unique.
Exactly. Well, makes sense. Well, how long have you been with this cruise company?
I've been with them since 2008.
Excellent. Well, you must really love your job if you're still there after 5 years.
I do. It's a great company to work with. The people, it's a very family atmosphere with the different boats and the crews and the office staff, transportation staff.
Well, one thing I wanted to give a shout out to the people that spoiled us. I brought my mom and my stepdad and my wife, and Captain Dan and Chris they give like a narration. And they're great. You really felt comfortable. You didn't feel like it was canned. You felt like he was just kind of doing it for the first time, and then you just, hey, Michael, look at there,
Right.
And it was very thorough because I'm a history buff, so I enjoyed the history. And then also we had the bartender named Sam. He made sure all our libations were great, and he worked hard.
He's very entertaining.
He's an entertaining guy. And then Stacy was a little shy.
Well, Stacy, we have some new people to the boat, and Stacy's new to the boat, but she's learning it, and I think right now she's just very focused on making sure that that the customers are having a great time. She's learning all the systems, and she's come along terrifically. She is just jumping right in and learning the boat. And it's hard. You get on an 80-foot boat, especially one that's vintage. You have to learn the systems, learn the company, learn how we treat customers. And there's a lot to learn in a short period of time.
Well, I felt for her because she's serving a gourmet meal, which was excellent. And she's got these little tiny stairs that go up and down to that. And I think she was even cooking up top or doing something up top. Or is that?
We do. Our lunch on the board of the boat are chicken and steak kebabs, and we grill them on the upper deck on a barbecue.
Yeah, and it was awesome. So I was just saying she was a little shy, but everything was good. She served well, and the food was fantastic. And I don't think there was much left. Probably.
No.
we had a lot. And then last but not least is Jerry, the man who picked us up at our house and made sure we had got to do Tahoe Keys safe and sound.
Right.
And he was very entertaining and a nice person. And I wanted to make sure I got a shout out for that because every little piece of the puzzle did their job. You didn't feel like you were rushed or hurried, or everything was just totally relaxed.
That's good. It's good to hear because that's what we strive for. This is, it's a different experience. It's not, people go to places and they have cruises and it's, metal benches or whatever. This is such a different experience. We want to make sure that people are comfortable, they're having a good time, they're enjoying Lake Tahoe, they're enjoying our boat, and that's what we strive for.
Well, the reason it was so important, my mom, about 2 years ago, they said she wasn't able to visit me because of the altitude, and she was having some heart problems for flying. Well, she walked for like 2 miles a day for years, and she was able to get a doctor to let her come and visit me. So I wanted to make sure we had the best possible vacation possible. And then we hooked up, and we went on your tour, and we got there from Jerry, and then you had a nice person in the little greeting booth. Maddie. And she made sure she got us to the boat. Then where I was a little bit worried is my mom has a balance problem. She one step up and she keels over. So we had a few steps go up the little ladder.
Right.
They made sure they had a hold of her. She didn't have any problems. My wife's legally blind. They made sure she got up there, no problem. And I have a tank. So we're not exactly the things you expect every time, but the boat was so I know, smooth that there was no problem with walk around my tank or Mom's balance problems or Deborah's vision problems.
Oh, good.
I know, so you have it, I mean, I'm just saying, it was an awesome cruise.
Well, and it's nice because the boat was actually built for service on the Great Lakes. So it was built to design that kind of weather and wave action that you get on there. And, here on Lake Tahoe, we don't have that severe weather. So she just offers just such a beautiful ride.
Well, as a Michigan boy, I know the Great Lakes, and I can see why it's such a nice boat. Well, another thing, or should I call it a boat or a yacht?
You can call it either.
I felt so comfortable, I feel like calling it a boat all the time. Well, once we got going, it was like we're coming out of the Tahoe Keys, and that's beautiful. I kind of liked it to just seeing kind of what's going on, and that's an area I don't really see too often, so that was kind of interesting. And then we went to up the west side, West Shore, and we went to the Godfather's
The Godfather Estate, Florida Lock.
Florida Lac. And for some reason, I was so used to the automatic pilot of going to Emerald Bay that it surprised me that we were doing that. Evidently, I didn't read my brochure all the way. And all of a sudden, the captain's saying, "We're at Florida Lac, get your cameras ready." I'm like, "Oh," I'm running. And as a movie buff, it really jumped out that you're there.
I mean, there's not a lot of the estate left from when they filmed it, because I think right after they stopped filming The Godfather 2 is when they started building the condos there. But you still see the boathouse where he was sitting in when Fredo was shot, and the pier and different things. So, and that's one of the most popular questions we get is, do you go to the Godfather estate? Yes, we do.
Yeah. And then not only that, the other tours I've been on the Tahoe Star, I've been on the Blue Wave. They always felt too short. You felt like you just didn't get you just too short.
Yeah.
Well, this is an extra hour, and it's more comfortable, and you get to see more things. Because after the Florida Lac, I think we went down and saw, what else did we see? The old brothel at Homewood.
The old brothel at Homewood and
I
the
thought-
Bexer's complex.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. And then you went down to what was it, Chambers Landing?
Chambers Landing, and Chambers Landing has quite the little history of how the bars changed hands and was developed, and that it's still operating after all these years over the water with public access. So I mean, there's a lot of fun history about the lake.
I know it. If you like history, it's a good place to go. I think he even looked at some kind of a lighthouse or something up there?
Oh yeah, it used to be the world's highest certified lighthouse, and it's been restored and looks like a little outhouse kind of up on the cliff.
I know, but it's just something that's cool.
Right.
And it's kind of corny, but he stopped and had people kiss a rock around there someplace.
Oh, in Emerald Bay.
Emerald
touch
Bay.
the rock. They'd take an 80-foot yacht and touch the island.
But he did it before that, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of by the
Oh, the
before-
Rubicon Cliffs.
Yeah, and I thought, is he just showing off how well he could guide his boat? And my wife, who can't see, kissed the rock, and then my stepdad and the whole crew, everybody probably did, and I was too busy taking pictures of them to do it. But it had a little bit of a drizzle that day, and everything was completely comfortable, everything. And if you wanted to be outside, you could be outside. If you wanted to be inside, you could be inside. And well, then we went to the, like you said, the Emerald Bay, and we did. His history is actually better than anyone else's tour I've ever been on.
Our captains are very good at researching the history and making sure they have all the details right. Our one captain, Chris, who was on the boat that day, also pilots our boat, the Tahoe, to the Thunderbird Lodge, and he does the Thunderbird Lodge tours, and he's very well versed on George Whitell and his life up there at Thunderbird.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, they just make sure that you have a chance to really get your photo moments. You don't feel, like I said, rushed at all. And I think it was probably the first time I ever did this tour where I actually saw some things in Emerald Bay that I hadn't seen before, because we weren't rushed.
And that's the nice thing about the tour. A lot of people come up and drive around the lake, which is a terrific experience. I grew up at the lake, so.
Oh, you grew up here?
I grew up here.
Awesome.
I've been up here 42 years, and there are just things you see from the vessel, especially along the West Shore, that you'll never see from the roadside.
Well, you're a Barton baby?
No. I was actually born in Roswell, New Mexico, and I've heard all the jokes.
Oh, no.
I moved up here quite young.
Well, anyways, the tour is just. I mean, I can't even say it. It's just the right boat to do. If you have one experience you want to do this summer or for your birthday, go to Safari Rose.
And the Safari Rose is very popular. We do a lot of corporate events. We do a lot of weddings. In fact, I got married on the Safari Rose 2 years ago.
Actually, I would think that's a good thing to do.
And it's a terrific experience because you're out there and, again, with, how our staff is, the look of the boat, it's just so incredible and so unique that, and our captains can actually be the ministers. They're all licensed ministers. And they can conduct the ceremonies on
Awesome.
board.
Well, how would you hook that up? Where they call one of your guides to set up the special planner?
Right, they would just call our main number and hit option 4. 775-588-1881, option 4. That will take you to Karen, who is our main wedding planner. And we work with several catering companies in town. We have photographers that we work with that know the boat and know the ins and outs of shooting
It's
a
important.
wedding
Yeah.
on the boat. And we put together great packages for anybody who wants to get married, or a commitment ceremony, or civil unions, anything. We're there to make that moment memorable for the guests.
Well, that sounds good. We're down to about a minute before we have to take a break, but
Right.
could you give out, do you have a website too that can look at all these pictures? Because behind me it's beautiful, but it still doesn't give it justice what some of your pictures on the website are.
Sure, we're at TahoeCruises.com, and it's a full website. You can look at any of the boats. You can look at wedding pictures. There's information about weddings, information on how to book charters, captains' bios, just about anything you'd like to find. In fact, it's kind of fun because my wedding pictures are on the website.
Awesome. Is that you?
That was me. Yeah, but they can find anything. There's contact forms on there and ways to get to find out information about charters, day cruises, whatever they want to find out.
Well, I think it's important because your cruises had so many options.
Mm-hmm.
You had the daytime cruise that we did.
The wonderful West Shore.
Then you have the night cruises. I think it was.
It's our Sunset Celebration
Sunset
cruise,
cruises, yeah.
and that just goes to Emerald Bay and back. It's only a 2-hour cruise, and that includes complimentary domestic beer, wine, champagne, and hot and cold appetizers with the ticket price.
Well, you got to get on the lake. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we come back, and we're going to visit with Bill and talk more about the other boats. You still got 2 more boats to go.
2 more boats.
Thank you very much. Hi, we're back from break with Bill Yale, and I want to kind of finish off the Safari Rose before we go on to the other boats.
Okay.
Now, I was reading my notes, and I had, now is it Mondays, you have a martini and margarita cruise?
Well, we don't. We actually just have specials each night. We don't really have a set cruise anymore.
Oh, okay.
But it's Monday margaritas or Wednesday wine. We just do. The bartenders come up with drink specials on those nights.
Well, I tell you, that's some good ideas, because everybody was just having a good time, and you kept us fed. And that's what made a lot of people real happy.
And it's a gourmet, more of a menu. You know, salad, rice pilaf, fruit salad, brownies, and there's always a cream sauce served with the fruit salad. We always tell people put it on the brownies because it cuts the calories.
Well, I tell you, those brownies didn't have a chance. There were no prisoners. Well, you have two other boats besides the Safari Rose. One's called the Tahoe, I believe.
The Tahoe, it's our 40-foot express cruiser. She was actually built for lake service in 1950, and if you've ever seen the book The Saga of Lake Tahoe by E.B. Scott, it was E.B. Scott's boat. He used it for shuttle service.
Oh, wow.
And then she was neglected for about 29 years, and our owner, it was given to our owner for free on the caveat that he restore it, which he did. Put it in a couple boat shows, won some awards, and she cruises 5 days a week to the Thunderbird Lodge.
Now, the Thunderbird, that's a historic landmark.
Right, this is George Whittell Estate. And it's open for public tours, but we're the only boat access into the lake. It's a 5-hour cruise. You get a continental breakfast on the boat, you get lunch on the grounds of the lodge, and then you get a tour of the lodge.
I read some place where you get a picnic on the grounds at it's a beautiful place.
Right. Yeah, you get the picnic lunch. It's a gourmet picnic lunch on the grounds of the lodge.
So how'd you get that exclusive?
Just working with them, and they like our vessel because it's a classic Tahoe boat. I mean, it was built for Tahoe service. She's been cruising the lake since 1950, and it fits in with the tour.
Well, you also had I read about you had like a 600-foot walk until you see their yacht.
Right, the vessel Thunderbird. Yeah, she is up there. She is stored in the boathouse. She was George Whittell's boat, and then she was purchased by Bill Harrah, who repowered her, and now it's just a classic. Living monument. The boat is so beautiful, and if she's in the boathouse as part of the tour, you do get to see the Thunderbird.
Well, that's what I say. You must have really exclusive rights to see the boat. I mean, that's like a $4 million boat.
At least, it's irreplaceable.
I had seen something on public access about the grounds. Is there some kind of, is it like a dragon landscape or something for the bricks where they have it designed or something? Something's different about that place.
Well, he kind of designed it in, I think it's a French chateau style. And but there's things like there's underground tunnels from the card room down to the boathouse, and it was quite the place to hang out. George Whittell used to hang out with Ty Cobb used to hang out up there.
Ty Cobb?
Ty Cobb.
The mean guy.
Yeah.
As a Detroit Tiger, he said he's a pretty good guy.
Right. But he was part of the group up there that hung out, and it was quite the place. And George Whittell, he owned so much land along the east shore of the lake. That's why there's not a lot of development up there. That was all his land, and he preserved the openness of it.
Well, that's awesome. Is that the place that has the swimming pool that wasn't finished because
Yeah.
a guy got killed?
Yes, and he just walled it up and left it as it was the day that the worker was killed.
I heard some really strange things about that mansion, and it sounds like a great place to do a tour.
It's a terrific place to do a tour. I mean, the construction, the little design things, the fountains, the grounds. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And Mr. Whittell was kind of a character. He used to drive around town in his Duesenberg with his pet lion Bill sitting riding in shotgun.
That's the story. I remember that people got unruly or drunk or something. You stick them with the lion, and they wake up and he's with the lion. That's got to be a great place.
There's also elephant barns on the property that you can still see.
Awesome. Well, I was talking to the Department of Tourism, Bethany Drysdale, and she said something about they found a tomb or some kind of hidden room in that place, and they were all excited about it, and it turned out to be an opium den.
That could be.
I guess the help was getting a little bit.
Well, it could have been.
But
I don't know.
I'll have to check my facts on that. But anyways, the stories that come out of that place, I've always really wanted to go there, so I'm going to have to do that tour as well.
Well, we take the Tahoe, and again, it's a vintage Tahoe craft. We only carry about 16 to 18 people, so it's kind of like you're going up with your closest friends.
Well, that's very intimate.
very intimate, and then it's a 5-hour cruise, and then they go along the east shore, and they talk about the different sites, the history, the formation of Cave Rock, and like with the Safari Rose cruise we talked about earlier, the captains have a history of what's going on, the Khashoggi Mansion, and different things, and they talk to the guests about it.
Well, I didn't know this was a 5-hour cruise. That's really bang for your buck. Because one, you're seeing all the landmark homes and sites, and 'cause some of those mansions are just take your breath away.
Right. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful.
Because you really got to get on the water if you're visiting Tahoe. I don't care how you do it, just get on the water because you just can't appreciate it.
Well, come do it with us.
Well, yeah, do with him too, but I don't care. Get on the water any way possible because Bill and all his staff are nice people. But every time I've been on the water, I feel like I'm just healthier. Something about Lake Tahoe just makes you healthier, and you can't really get it from the shore. You got to get on the water or
Out
in
on
the
the
water. And so I'm serious. And then you said you had the gourmet picnic, and you said you've already touched upon that. And it leaves at about 10 a.m. every day.
Leaves at 10 a.m. We're always back at 3.
And then that leaves from the Tahoe Keys also at the marina.
Right.
Or Rubicon.
In fact, it's kind of nice. If you go out to the end of the Rubicon dock, you'll see the Safari Rose and the Tahoe docked right by each other.
Yeah, that's a nice place, by the way. I haven't been back there before.
Oh, okay.
You have the fresh caches back there.
A great restaurant.
And I think they have some entertainment, too, from time to time.
They do. They have local entertainment. In fact, one of them, Jesse Kalin, is someone I went to high school with.
Awesome.
I've known him for many, many years. So
I've wanted to put him on the show for a long time. He's one of my heroes. I think he's helping live bands a lot in the area.
yeah, he's a great guy.
Now, the other boat, last but not least, is the Woodwind Sailing Cruise. And it's called the Woodwind 2.
The Woodwind 2. Yeah, she was. We had another boat called the Woodwind. It was a trimaran that sailed out of Camp Richardson, which is no longer on the lake. The boat that is not Camp Richardson. And so the Woodwind 2, she sails out of Zephyr Cove 5 times a day, 11:30, 1:30, and 3:30. We do a 5:30 happy hour cruise. Most of our cruises are 2 hours long on that boat. The happy hour is about an hour and 15 minutes, and that features half-price drink specials. We also do a sunset celebration cruise from 7 to 9, and it's complimentary domestic beer, wine, and champagne.
Wow.
And the boat leaves Zephyr Cove and it simply goes out sailing wherever the winds are the best. We want a true sailing experience. We don't want to have the motors on with the sails up. The captains take them out and.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When I was on the catamaran in Florida when I was a kid, that's right, one of the places I grew up, it was St. Pete, and the catamaran went up and it was just flying. This catamaran doesn't do that, does it?
No, this catamaran, we'd like to say that the Woodwind 2 is a ride comfortable enough for even your grandmother to enjoy.
There you go. Well, thing's a monster. It's like the twin hulls are 55 foot long.
Right.
The mast is 64 feet, and it has 2,000 feet of sail. That's a big boat.
She's 30 feet. She's got a beam of about 30 feet.
Yeah, and then she's also intimate too. She only has 49 people that you put on there.
We only put on 49. Again, our goal is we want people to enjoy the lake. We don't want to try to pack as many people on as we can, but we want people to have room to move around. The salon inside where the bar is seats down about 30 people, or there's a lot of times you see a catamaran between the hulls forward, they have netting. We have solid decking out there. We have big cushions out there, so you can sit there on the cushions, have a drink brought to you, and just enjoy the lake sailing on the power of wind. So it's a very quiet ride, very, very, very settling ride.
I think that's fantastic because also I read something about it has glass bottom viewing windows.
We do have glass bottom viewing windows down in the Amas.
So when you're coming close to the shore, you probably can see a lot of the boulders and things and take some pictures of.
Hopefully you'll see Tahoe Tessie.
Yeah. Well, actually, I used to feed her a long time ago.
Well,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I was working at the boathouse. I would extra popcorn. I just don't tell anybody. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you're polluting the lake.
I know. No, she ate it all. It was gone.
Good,
it was
good,
gone.
good.
But anyways, for this number, was it a different number to do the woodwind or?
Well, you can call our main number and there's an option to hit that, or you can call them directly at 775-588-3000.
Because each one it says it has like an event planner that you get a hold of.
If to charter the boat, you
Yeah.
can actually talk to Karen, option 4, or if you call the A-frame, we have our little A-frame out at Zephyr Cove. It's very easy to spot.
Okay.
Very kind of unique building, and our ticketing agent Orist out there can help you also.
So you can probably stop out there and get some brochures.
Absolutely, we have brochures all over town. We have the website. We're in several magazines. As you can see, we have covers from Food, Wine, Art, and the Guest Room. We're in the Tahoe Mag. We are everywhere.
So look for brochures on the Safari Rose. The one's called the Tahoe.
The Safari Rose and the Tahoe share the same brochure.
Okay.
And then we have the Woodwind 2 sailing brochures out there.
And they're very clear and easy to understand because you see some of these stats and you go, Is that really true?
It's really true.
I know. It's like, and like I said, we got picked up, and you get picked up from all the major hotels, I imagine.
The Safari Rose, we pick up from just any South Shore lodging location. For the Woodwind 2, because of the time schedule with the cruises going in and out, we pick up from 4 major locations in town.
Okay.
The casinos and the transit center.
Well, that's pretty easy. Well, we're down to our last 2 minutes. Can you go out and give out your contact information and just
Sure.
kind of wrap her up with anything you want to talk about?
Sure. We have our main number, which is 775-588-1881. And we have a menu on board, extension 1 for the Woodwind 2, 2 for the Safari Rose, 3 for the Tahoe, 4 for private charters. We also have our 800 number, 888-867-6394. Our direct line to the Woodwind 2 is 775-588-3000. Or you can go on our website and send in an inquiry through our information page, our contact page, and we will return our calls. We're always happy to take calls, and we get a lot of questions, and some people are afraid to ask
I
questions.
had some other questions too, but what if I'm on a special diet? Can Stacy come up, or your first mate come up and figure out how to get me through the cruise?
Absolutely, we can accommodate that. I mean, we have people who have gluten-free diets, we have vegetarian, and we can accommodate that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, because a lot of little things in life. It's funny how you get to certain ages and things change. Mm-hmm. Like the balance of my mom, that she made sure she could get up the ladder easily. My wife doesn't see very well. Everything was clear for her. She didn't have a problem. She didn't bump her head. Mm-hmm. Me with my air tank. Then what I like though, the captain came out and spoke to all of us before we left and gave us the survival tips, as it were. Mm-hmm. Kind of laid the lay of the land. So right from the very beginning, it was very scheduled. I'm kind of a scheduled guy, so I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. And anything less you want to say about your boats?
Well, we just we pride ourselves in our customer service. I mean, look at our Yelp reviews. We have 5 stars.
Yes, I saw that.
And that's not for any business that's hard to maintain. But we work very hard to maintain it with our customers because again, people are coming to Tahoe. They're having a good time. They're showing their family. We want to make sure that on our end we're giving the best possible experience that we can. Because the lake is a terrific place. It's wonderful. There's so many different sights and things to see, and our boats we feel our boats are the best platforms to do it.
Well, Bill, thank you for being on Nevada Trails.
All right. Well, thank you.
And get out there on the water. You'll really be glad you did. It's the best experience I ever had. Thank you very much.